Alright, and we're up. Alright, minor house taking, but give me a sec. Alright, should be good. Going in. Alright, so where to begin for today? Still working on the background and such. Let's go with background. The walls. That seems to be a log. No, maybe I can't quite tell. There's something right here, but I can't quite tell what exactly it is. That seems a little different. No, it's about right. Actually, a new setup option I'm trying, so bear with me. Trying new things and running out of room. So that's how it always goes. Alright, I wanted... where'd you go? There we are. Alright. Here we are. Actually, slightly down. You are not quite as wide. You do come up, but not that far. Come down a little. And a little. Alright, still keep you a little further down. It was here. Looks kind of silly, but I'm just trying to fix it up. Alright. What's that? Might be one of the things. There you are. And can't quite tell there. There's a little bit here. Okay, there was something I needed to correct. Alright. Right about there, I believe. Something just a bit like that. Alright. So, it is right about here. This is actually going to be because this line here on the dress curves upwards. Alright. No, it doesn't focus there. It focuses here. Alright, there we are. And one of my other odd little, I always try to make it exact, which is generally a good thing, but I found it can also be harmful in the fact that it can only be exact. Alright. There's that, with a design in the center, which I'm not going to draw. A bit too detailed for that. Right here. A bit. This one. Stuff like that. Alright. They start together, just about. And there you go. Go just like that. Mm-hmm. There. That. Tiniest bit sticks up right over here. Right. That should be decent enough to get started on the endeavors. Alright. I really need a bigger table. Okay, so we're gonna start with what? Alright, we'll start with the blouse, the shirt, the dress. I've never quite learned the differences between some of those terms. Like, what would her dress be called? I'd imagine just a dress of sorts, but because her outfit, give me one moment. Because her outfit, it has a belt, a sash that goes over here. And it's got the dress bottom skirt bit. It goes here, opens up. It's mostly like a side slit type thing, but a fairly large one. And then she's got like the corset type thing that goes up and catches here. And then I guess her gloves too. But would that be a dress, or is it multiple pieces with like a skirt and a corset? I don't know. Alright, so this is, let's start with white and black. Try and get a gray, maybe. But we will need a base white. We can touch up the finer details a bit later. One second. Alright, there we are. One of the things that I do find kind of nice about this outfit is it's relatively simple. Unlike a lot of other fantasy works and such, where they have like just absolutely absurd clothing. It's like a 56 piece dress or something. Like it's got a single shoulder strap, one glove here, a secondary glove here, another 30 skirts and 50 belts, and just very odd looking outfits. Some of those can be nice. One example, especially belts, is like the character Lulu from Final Fantasy X. Her dress is quite literally made up of belts. And then you've got Titus, same game, who has like these weird short pant see-through things. I don't even know what they are. Oh, hello, welcome. Give me a sec. Give me a sec. I accidentally messed with the camera for originally did something, so I think I might have messed something up. Oh, I might use that one. Give me a sec. Let's go some of that, I guess. I don't know. Yeah, it's I tried to reset up the camera here, mess with some of the lighting conditions, and it seems to have messed it up just a little. And then I still need to get one of those new cameras if I can. Oh yeah, hey Matt, how's it going? Oh yeah, I was talking about yesterday, showing you guys my shelf thing that we made. I got one of the boards behind me. It's like really big, if you want to see it, but it's kind of big. It's going so-so. To be honest, that's most days. It's not like we have every day has to be super stupendous awesome or super stupendous horrible. It's just kind of so-so. Just as long as you don't have too many so-so days in a row. Alright. Alright. Alright, so this is going along alright. Yeah. Well, care to vent about it? You don't have to, but feel free to just complain about things that go on here. It's anything I can help with? Yeah, real life stuff can be odd at times. I haven't really had any of that recently. For the most part, I do fairly well with real life situation stuff. The exception being currently telling people I'm moving. I still don't quite know how to bring it up. Yeah, it's and there's I don't know. Well, I'll keep going with that. One of my current things is Radio Shack. No. Alright, fair enough. Yeah, you don't have to say anything you don't want to on the channel, but it's you're always able to talk to me if you need to. That's kind of always how it has been. But yeah, it's like sometimes it's best just not to think about some stuff because you know it'll affect you. I've had a couple of things like that. Not too many, but yeah, it's oh, no problem, man. But yeah, it's just I just know that oftentimes it's like you get things in your head and you sit there and like you cycle through them, talk, do what have you, and sometimes just saying it out loud can make such a significant difference to your mindset. You can either like realize how silly you've been or like how different the situation actually is. Because it's really weird. You can like say something in your head, in your mind, and then you just and it like works you all up into something or other. And then if you say it out loud, you like kind of laugh at it. I've had that happen a couple of times. It's like, I'm worried about this, I'm worried about that, I'm worried about this, I'm worried about that. And then I just like say it out loud and I realize it's not that big of a deal. Rewinding the course. Yeah, it's yeah, I think anxiety, I guess, is this one I'm starting to like feel with recently with this whole move. It keeps happening more and more, but well, here I'm actually me moving is a big, significant, life-changing event for me, and so I keep trying to make sure it's what I need to do, what I want to do. And I have the problem of it's not like my dream to go to Texas. It's not like I'm going there for any horribly significant reason. And it's like I'm stuck in this weird middle kind of limbo type of thing. And where I don't need to do it, and it's not like a thing I really want to do, but something I feel that will help me and I want to do. Because like I could, for instance, just like live the rest of my life here. It's completely possible. I could totally do that. And I've already got friends and family and stuff here, so it makes sense. I could just keep living here. But then I keep thinking of all the things that I can't do living here. And the other day I had a thought that explained it really well. I keep having, should I go? Should I stay? Should I go? Should I stay? I'm probably gonna have this up until the day I actually do it. But there was one the other day, and I started talking in video game terms, and it just kind of suddenly clicked. Everything just made a hell of a lot more sense. And what it was doing anything here, living here, would be a side grade. Moving to Texas is a potential upgrade. And that's what really just suddenly made it click for me. Because I could do things here, but nothing would significantly improve. It would just be different. I could move into town, I'd get better internet, but nothing would really fundamentally change. I could stay with my job and improve on it, but it would still be the same. Same job, same thing, same old, just more. And once that odd, silly little phrase popped in my head, that it made a bit more sense. And going to Texas, I gotta get rid of everything here in order for a potential for more. Because one of the other things, it's such a small town that, well, for me, one of the other gaming terms that popped into my head to explain it was platining an achievement, or like 100% completioning it. You work really hard to get every little thing you can in said game. I feel that's kind of like the point I'm sitting at here, if it makes sense. I could sit here and grind out the 100% for the completionist factor here, or I could go to the next area, the next zone, and start working on those achievements. And it was such a silly, kind of childish explanation, but it clicked. I don't know why, but that made it so much more sense to me, and kind of calmed me down a bit. Because I've never been one to really fully 100% achievements. I work trying to get them as I go through the game, but I don't start over and replay them a million times to get every single thing. I do it if it makes sense, or if I want to, not to do it to every single game. And I don't know, it's just, it kind of made sense that that's what I'm doing in life right now. I'm trying to, don't know why, but I just think in gaming terms a lot. And one of them was, like, this is the starting zone. I'm living in the level 1 through 10 zone for whatever. And I could stay here. I could do all this stuff. But, I need to go and get to the higher level zones in order to improve my life a bit. And so that's what I kind of realized I'm not going to focus on. I'm going to move out and level up, I guess is the best way to put it. Because one of my fears of leaving here is if it's the wrong choice, if I should be staying here, because in order for me to move away, I have to let go of everything I've built up here. Actually, really, that's the hardest part for me, letting go of my life here. And mostly the people, because there's also this mindset, and I've heard it from motivational speakers and such, YouTube videos, things like that, where they talk about it, and you don't have to please everybody. You don't have to spread yourself so thin that it's detrimental, and it's an odd fine line that I'm trying to walk. But like, one of the things is I'm the repair tech at Radio Shack, and so I'm the only guy who can fix things, has been my mindset. But technically that might not be true. There could be somebody out there who can do just as good a job as me, and you overhype yourself for it needs to be an actual black, not this color. Oh, I gotta remix that. Right. And so it's getting caught up into the mindset trap of this is the only way it can work. This is the only way that things can happen. This is the way things are, therefore this is the way things always will be. And so I keep trying to shift away from that. Let's try this guy. See what he's up to. Howdy, my little scratch note. It's been a while, indeed. It's been a while. I can't remember the last time it was. Going on adventures in the real world. To be honest, neither have I. It's I tend to be actually very same old routine type thing, personally, and it's something I'm trying to break. I'm trying to become more adventurous. But it actually I need to go out the other way. Give me 2 seconds. No, it's the streaming of Duolingo didn't quite pan out. It was a half an hour thing that I switched over to, and then switched over to something else, and it became a hassle doing that much switching, and it made things cumbersome to work with. So no, unfortunately I do not stream Duolingo anymore. And that is too much white. Maybe not. Send more black. That should be maybe okay. sorry. But yeah, it's on the subject of adventure. Yeah, I tend to be very habitual. Is that even a word? I tend to stay with habits and not adventure too much farther from that. Sorry. Sorry. It's I'm gonna blame Twitch for that one. But yeah, it's I do not stream Duolingo anymore. It got it was a cumbersome way of going about things, because I did it for like a half an hour a day, and then I closed the stream, start up a new stream for the next project, and if I did it for longer, I could potentially do that, but it was just kind of cumbersome for anything else I was trying to do, so I no longer stream Duolingo. It's there's so many things I want to do, but I'm not able to fully capitalize on all of it, which is really a shame. But it's just there's too much to do in the world. You can't. Oh, I saw something in there. But yeah. You miss my streams? Really? If I may ask, what about them do you happen to miss? Because honestly, the most input I can get is mostly from myself about what things may or may not be working. I was trying to learn some of that stuff. Just didn't pan out. I just kind of felt it was disjointed in the way I went about doing it. This is still not the right color. Well, let's work with a base color, I guess. It's remarkable, huh? Really cool. It's one of the things is I've shifted around with the languages. Well, fair enough. That's I think works out too. But I've had people come in with other languages for me to learn as well. I can't remember exactly when you took off, but I started with I think I originally started with German. Then I shifted to Russian, and now I've got some people telling me to stop Russian and pick up Japanese. So it's not quite sure where to go with the language aspect either. But it's, I guess one of the other things is it's a bit harder for me to continue learning a language. I know I could learn languages if I stuck with it, but it gets difficult for me because it tends to just be me learning the language. Russian. Alright. Oh, sorry about that, man. It's just things move on. It's one of the things I'm having to forcibly come to the conclusion of is there's just not enough time in the day to do everything. You can always still squeeze in a bit of time for something, but you can't do it for everything. And I've been having to make a few priority changes as well. But language is very odd. I'd love to learn that stuff, but not enough time, yeah. And yeah, hell, it's just so weird. Dang, and Robin Phoenix, right? I am streaming Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday of Higurashi. I'm currently. That's and yeah, it's I one of the things that I want to try and stream after Higurashi, which I don't know how long it'll be, is the Nonary games. There's 999 and then the second one. But I relatively recently got the pack, and I want to continue on with the third one, which I think is Zero Time Dilemma, something like that, which is in a similar vein. It's a mystery type game for I think it came out on the DS, but it's a PC game. But that would be in a similar vein that I want to try and work towards. But yeah, it's just, but again, just not enough time in the day to do it all. I know what you tell you what language to learn. Well, I understand that, but for me, the point of a language is to talk to other people. And currently speaking, you guys would be the only ones I would be speaking the language to. Give me one sec here. Like, I spend like 2 hours a day streaming. The other 22 hours of my day, the language doesn't exist. And it's kind of disheartening having to deal with stuff like that. I guess it was just kind of like a big amalgamation of why my Duolingo stuff started falling apart, because I'd sit here and learn the language, but I had nothing inherently to do about it. It's like, yeah, it's like I can pick up like underwater basket weaving, but it's just kind of just me. And I've spent way too long doing things on my own that it doesn't work for me anymore. I spent years of my life trying by myself to do things for myself. And I found that just doesn't work for me. I work the best and with other people in a similar mindset, other people who share in the idea. It's taken me a long time to realize that, but yeah, I work with other people, and when I can't I can't work with other people, I can't talk to them about things, it gets quite lonely. Yeah, for instance, I had the doll stuff that I was working on. My parents were a bit kind of odd about it, but they were understanding enough. But they didn't really get it. They didn't understand. They weren't people I could talk about. I didn't really have any way to talk to about it. Some of the other stuff, it's like, well, hell, for now, painting. Nobody I know of really. Well, there's one person who I could talk to, but I don't get to see them often, and it's, it's just, there's something very big about being with other people in the same mindset. I can't quite explain it, but if you've ever been there and like just felt like a part of a group with the same ideals, the same mindset, it makes a huge difference. And I guess that's one of the things I'm working towards with the move here. I'm working at finding the group again. Of course, then I'm always, as well, questioning myself if this is truly what I'm moving for, if I'm not just running away from my problems. Which is always a lovely discussion to have with yourself. I'm kind of joking with that, but yeah. Yeah, that is one of my biggest concerns about how I'm going about things, is Am I truly trying to better myself, or am I simply running away? Not in a demeaning manner, but trying to understand my own motives for what I'm doing. I'm trying to make the right choice because of it. I honestly don't know. And you're not quite a person who could know. It's mostly just me. Other than external input or perspective. It's something I gotta try and figure out myself. But it's something I just keep struggling with, keep questioning. It's one of the reasons why I keep I've been thinking about it for months, man. And I just can't come up with a solid answer for it. What are you running away from, huh? I think the biggest thing I think it might be is fear of commitment. As strange as that sounds. Because I could commit to staying here and living here. I could commit to the job I've got. I could commit to the life I have. But I could also be committing to another task, and I'm running away from that commitment I put down. It's a really very bizarre set of circular thinking. Yeah, it's that's the thing, but I've got a nice job where people are needing me, and that makes it even more harder to make a decision. Yeah, because I'm starting to attract customers to the store by word of mouth, or how good of a repair job we do on things. And that just hello. And that's part of it. It's I can't quite say. It's because I know that's part of it. It's recently the job has gotten very slow. It's like past few weeks I've not quite had as many repairs as when I started. I'm willing to bet a fair amount of it is because people are still in quarantine and can't go out and break their phones as much as they would normally. Which is just a simple thought, but I can't verify if it's true or not. But yeah, it's running away from the talent. That's actually a good way to put it, because I have this talent, and it gets every time somebody compliments me on my job here, it hurts. it really does. Because feel like part of it is I'm letting them down by doing it. It's just, you know, I'll just kind of just bear it out here, I guess. It's because, well, the one thing I always try and keep in mind is I may be overestimating myself. That's an entire possibility, but at the same time, how am I letting them down? Alright, well, here, I'll explain it. My repair job, I had 2 people before them. They're complimenting you. There were 2 repair techs before me. Well, technically a 3rd, but he left for California. But the 2 before me, I'm still cleaning up their mess. I am literally, a year after I've started work here, still am finding jobs where they have screwed things up horribly. The Radio Shack job I was at was also no fault of my own, but how it was run, they were running themselves into debt. They were in tens of thousands of dollars in debt, and they're finally working the way out of it. Odd little aside. But the 2 techs before me were absolutely horrible. They ruined, or they had a significant impact with Radio Shack's reputation and the repairs of the area. Come along me. I start, and I bring it back up from the dirt, quite literally. People were running away from Radio Shack because of how bad the repairs were. And I bring it back. My manager even had a graph for showing, like he had a graph for the technical, just for the tech repair type stuff, and it's like how much people paid for, and it was like starting down real down low and a little bit, and then it spiked and it went up and went up. I made them $4,000 in a single month once. For a small town, that's actually pretty good, and just solely for repairs. So I have significantly helped them come out of the wherever it is they were coming from. I'm currently nicknamed Emmett from Emmett's Fix-It Shop in Andy Griffith Show, because I fix so many different things. You know, at the start of this whole chat, I mentioned saying something out loud and then thinking it in your head makes a difference. It's actually doing that here. And yeah, it's like I did that. Yeah, I got them up and out of the hole. But part of me feels like, well, if that... Sorry, I'm parsing my thoughts here. I helped get them out of the troublesome point, but well, the compliment aspect, those hurt because I've been told I'm doing such a good job, and it's they're thankful for having somebody who can help repair them. They're thankful for they have somebody they can rely on, and I'm planning on leaving. And it's like every time they compliment me, and I haven't quite told them I'm leaving yet. I'm planning it next week is the big one, because one of the other aspects is one of the prospects of the job when I got hired was that I would be able to get commission from how many repairs I did. And it was never quite a system. There was a system, but they had run things so poorly that they had kind of forgotten where they put that stuff, and their previous techs were so horrible they weren't using it. But they finally got a system back up in place, and quite literally next week they're going to be paying me at least for a few months worth of the commissions they've been owing me. And then I'm immediately going to be leaving. and it feels like such a scumbag thing to do. And one of my fears is, my plan is to help train and hire a replacement for me. I'm gonna try and teach them as much as I know about the job and try and prevent them from being a horrible repair tech like the one before me. But I don't know how many other people are able to do it. I don't know how many people would apply for the job. I don't know any of that stuff. So I can't guarantee the quality of the person replacing me. And after building up the reputation to the standard it is, I really don't want to just put it back into the dirt with somebody else. And that's part of the thing, is it's... I'm gonna try and be talking to them about it. But at the same time, I still could use the money for moving purposes, because any bit of money I have will definitely help in that regard. But it's this really weird feeling I've got. I don't know. Alright, so let's go with, where'd they go here? Yeah, that's kind of where my thought process is. I don't want to let them down after building things up, because so, and this is again runs into the, am I simply running away from the responsibility of this job I've got, or I don't know, it's probably not, but it's this weird confounding little feeling I've got, and I can't make it go away. I guess it's this thing called a conscience, maybe? It's a dilemma I keep deliberating on and keep bringing back up. But for the most part, every time I do, I tend to come back to the realization that it is kind of best for me to move on. Part conscious, I guess. That's followers for views, totally, absolutely. Not. Oh, completely unrelated note. One of the things, moving to Texas, it shifts me over 2 time zones. So I would be starting at 4 o'clock here. It would be 6 o'clock over there, which means I could technically start 2 hours earlier and still be on the same time slot, if any of that stuff worked out. Ooh boy, oh boy. Hopefully those bots don't get worse. We'll see, we'll see. It's just as an aside, yeah, it's I might be able to stream different hours, so it could potentially be an improvement, but it would also depend on what job I manage to land. Yeah, I guess there's just a lot of uncertainty in them. I should probably not mix with those ones down there. Uncertainty about the whole endeavor, and that's one of the big hang-ups. Because I will be there's no real perfect answer, and that's the biggest thing. Alright, give me one moment. Oh, there's should be a little gap there, actually. But it's since I have no guarantee one way or the other how things should be going, I'm having a lot of difficulty making an informed decision on any of it. But this is where kind of... Oh, I'll put it one of the other ways. This is closer to a superstition, but it's one that I still pick up on. But recently I've been having a lot of things to just kind of randomly show up and start like running into old friends I haven't seen in a while. Things starting to pick up. I'm starting to make friends at work. It's not the same bot. It's 4 different people. I think they just happen to run into my thing. They always have a different name, so I believe banning them would be kind of pointless. If they start like spamming shit, yeah, I might. Well, if you want, we could actually ban them right now. Well, it's in order to ban, you need to be a mod. Any of you guys want to be mods? There's no real requirements to it. How's it going? Oh, hey, you're finally here. Give me a sec. Let me finish this up here. Yeah, in order to ban, you have to be a mod and have the ability to. And then you go like /ban space name or whatever. Not a good mod. Oh, that's a... No, that's... Honestly, the requirements for being a mod on my channel are simply if you want to, and I feel like you can be. You've seen how often I need to ban people. You've seen how often I need to enforce any sort of security. Honestly, the most I've needed a mod was when Strangely was around, and she would help show people the Discord channel and pop up with links or explain things while I wasn't able to. Alright, let's see if I can do that. Yeah, I'm not really overly picky as long as you've been around for a bit. Also, no abusing powers. You do that, it'll be a right quick trip to not being a mod anymore. But yeah, as long as you don't do that and do anything stupid, yeah, sure, knock yourself out. Alright. Give me a second. This needs to be a little thin. It's a bit too wide at the moment. But yeah, yeah, it's oh yeah, it's in here. let me show you the shelf, but I want to try and finish up this bit right here first. So give me half a second. All right. But yeah, that could probably be cleaned up some. Yeah. UI. I actually don't think I've ever seen any mod UI. I just have like my streaming UI and then like a chat bot and my main Twitch page is about what I've got. Anyway, I finished that up, so give me just 1 second. There we are. There we are. Hello, hello. Hello, it's a bit harder to make out, but this board right here is the shelving unit I was talking about. This right here is the board we made. It's a big fucking board. But as you can see, there's a bit of a bluing here. The design, that's all natural. The tree had that pattern on it. And it's a neat looking board. So we turned it into a shelf. Yeah, I've got another one, but you see these notches here? These are actually for the beams. This was originally going to be it originally was a shelf that we put into a chicken coop to renovate it into a hobby room. But yeah, that's don't be like that. There we are. Okay, what kind is it? Some pine that we've got out here. I want to say Douglas fir, maybe? I'm not overly sure specifically. I just remember we had it, and it was... We made it when we were... Wait 1 moment. There we are. We made it when we were making boards for the no. Give me a sec. Because that was made for the coop when we were fixing it up, which was before the cabin work, so... I think my dad was working at making a lumber mill at the time, and this was one of the boards one of the logs we had lying around that we wanted to try and turn into something, and it turned out to be pretty cool looking stuff, so we turned it into a shelf. But yeah, I want to say it's Douglas, but I can't tell. We've got Tamarack or Larch if you want to go that route. I think we've got Douglas pine and ponderosa. That might have been a ponderosa. And we also have some cedar out in this area. But cedar is technically illegal to, damn it, cut out for some reason. I'm not entirely sure why. And this is horrible. But we'll fix it up. Because we can fix it up. But yeah, it's that was originally put into the chicken coop that we renovated into a hobby room. And so it was a shelf that I used to put things on, and I was at some point I decided I wanted to try and put it as a shelf in here, but it I put it in here, but I never actually put it up, and it's kind of been sitting there ever since. Partly because I was also planning on moving, and it's like, why should I put it up if I'm gonna take it back down, bring it with me, type of thing. Yeah, we also have, there's also a second one sitting over there, but as you can tell, it's kind of big. It's like, what, 8 foot? Just about 8 foot long. And it's kind of unwieldy to just move them both around. But I feel they'd be pretty cool. Yeah, Washington State, Northeast Washington. I live 20 miles outside of a little town called Colville, Washington. That's the, that's, okay, that's what it is. But yeah, here we have very wooded territory. Lots of forests, lots of national parks and such. Oh, come on. Playing nice. Actually, you don't go up to the edge there, you go. Yeah, that would make more sense for you to go here. Alright, yeah. There's something up. It's, well, maybe not on our own property. Okay, I think on our own property we can cut it down, but on the when you're going out for firewood collecting, I think that might be what it is. If you're collecting firewood on state land and such, you can't turn cedar into firewood, even if it's rotting on the floor, I believe. Or something. There's, cedar is special. There's something about it, and I can't quite remember specifically what, but there is something special about cedar. I wouldn't be able to tell you. I think part of it is it's linked to water, and we have something called the Riparian Act here, which is don't interfere with the flow of water, maybe? I don't know. But yeah, cedar is different. It's treated not the same as the other ones. Oh yeah, the cedar is awesome. It's, my dad's actually using it. My dad loves cedar because it's also rot resistant, which means it makes really good fence posts, which is pretty cool. And you are not right. There we are. More like that, yeah. But yeah, and so he's been, yeah, turning it into fence posts. We've got a well, here, I'll use this square here. Got like a 20-acre lot that looks kind of like this, a big old long rectangle. And we live in like the top portion of it here. We've got like mostly mountain and like a driveway here, and then extra land down here that we have a river that crosses through. Anyway, we've got a fence that goes like up here, up around, and down here. It sits about here, and he wants to try and make a fence, finish up this top area here. But the problem is we ran out of posts at about here, and so we need a few more posts to make all the way across. And he wants to use cedar trees that he's made, cedar posts that he's made, but he needs to find a bit more cedar. They come up all the way all the time, but yeah, it's a very good wood and it lasts forever. You put a tree in the dirt and it'll start rotting. A log in the dirt and it'll start rotting. Why did I do that? And so by using cedar, it's very rot resistant, and the fence will last much longer than if you used a different type of wood. Alright, give me a second. slightly off. Maybe. I need to redo that line anyway. So let's redo. But yeah, cedar is there's a lot of different things and natural treated lumber. Yeah, it's my dad's really gotten into the lumbering community as well as the chicken farming community. It's just all into some things that work out for him, I guess. Okay, here. Alright, give him a, there we go. Once over to some of this stuff. But yeah, it's fascinating, and there's a lot of different types of lumber, different trees. Yeah, you've got, especially for like firewood aspects. Most part, we have a lot of pine trees, different types. The ponderosa, Douglas fir, grand fir, I think is the other one we've got out here, and then cedar. And tamarack and larch is a big one. There is some ponderosa, but that ponderosa is actually very light and kind of airy wood. It doesn't burn a lot. If I'm thinking of it right, I'm not as familiar on them as everyone else in the area. Yeah, ponderosa is the unwanted one in the area. It's not as desirable as the other ones. We had a neighbor who would only ever get tamarack, which is another name for larch. One or the other, can't remember. For his firewood, because it burned really hot, and it did, and his house was always really hot. But it was nice. I kind of preferred it, that heat, but it's not quite all that sustainable. Alright, a second here. I'm gonna try and work on a line here. Can't quite make that. It's slightly different. Alright, that's good enough. We only really have maple, oaks around here, weeping willows. I used to have a willow tree in my backyard in Arizona, actually, which was interesting. Removed a few years ago. Any particular reason why? Sassafras. Alright. It depends. It's a fun little game. And if you like the gameplay loop, you can play it for a really long time. But for me personally, longevity of it wears down a bit sooner than it should be. But if it's your type of game, there's people who still play the hell out of that thing. The gameplay loop, it basically boils down to there's here. You've got multiple levels. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Looks like. Oh no, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10? Maybe they're about 10 levels. And it's a side scroller, so you go from left to right. Any group of up to 4. I think it's 4. Yeah, it's a group of 4. One was dying, one was on some power lines. Post sector. Yeah, power lines, that is a legitimate reason for cutting down trees and such. But Dragon Charm works with 10 levels, thereabouts, and it's the storyline is very basic. You are an adventurer trying to figure out the problem, just kind of like a mercenary type thing, solving the problem for the level. And you go from left to right, and then you go from zone to zone to zone, room to room to room, beating up all sorts of monsters and things, and going through it. Like, for instance, I've never played Golden Axe, so I can't comment on that. But if you've ever played like a brawler game, or like on a Super Nintendo or an arcade, where you sit there and like imagine this is the ground, it's like angled slightly up, and your character can move up, and like if it's a street going this way, you can go left and right and forward and position wise, and then just beat up everybody that way. River Cedar Ransom, Streets of Rage, yeah, like that, like those. The one I'm familiar with is Turtles in Time. That kind of gameplay. That's the gameplay it is. But the characters, you've got Fighter, Dwarf, Wizard, Elf, Sorceress, Amazon. Yeah, I think you've got 6 total characters you can choose from. And you go from left to right, beating up all these things, opening up chests, and getting a score. One of the gameplay mechanics is, once you get to the end of the level, you can continue on or come back to town. And if you continue on, you get kind of like a multiplier. And you can keep going, and you can keep going, and keep going, and get better and better and better and better gear. Exponentially, multiplicatively. But further along you go, the more you have to stop and sort out your inventory and work out with things. And your skills have a limited use. So it's a mechanic of, do I have enough to push on, or do I have to rest now, or is the loot good enough? And then it kind of goes on like that. And the characters have differing, very significantly different. It's not like this character has sword, this character has axe, this character has bow. Every character is functionally different, with the exception of maybe Wizard and Sorceress. They're very similar, but Sorceress is more oriented towards support, such as summoning food, like what she's surrounded by, so that they can heal. While the Wizard is focused primarily on destruction, blowing shit up. The Wizard has the Meteor spell, which basically is big old giant screen size block of fire coming and hitting everything in its path. Whatnot. The Amazon, which is one of the paintings I had before, I liked playing as her because it was a very frantic, rush down type of character. She has big ol' axe, and one of her things is she can the more she hits things, the faster her swings get, so you can end up being just this machine gun of an axe just flying across the map, and it's pretty fun. The Dwarf is a brawler. He can pick up and chuck enemies and rocks and barrels and shit. The Fighter is a tank, and he keeps aggro on things, able to support casts that way. That kind of stuff. Everything is significantly different. The Elf is an archer who has a set number of arrows, and you can like pick them back up sometimes if you miss, or drop from barrels, so you end up being inventory type management or skill based management. If you like those kind of games, it would be an absolute fit. It's very fun. You can also play up to with 4 people. I never was able to do that because I could play online because I had satellite internet. Yay. But a fun game. If you like any of that style, you will definitely love it. And there's different quests, and I love the artwork for completing. Every quest you complete reveals a artwork and a small little story about it, which is pretty cool. There's different bosses. There's a big old dragon that chases you around. There's a kraken that you have to fight the tentacles with before the room floods out. There's a harpy that you have to fight in her nest. You have to fight golems with another golem. It's a lot of interesting little things. Pretty cool. Give me a sec. Very faint lines to try and... I guess that works. Alright. But it's a fun type of game. They also apparently recently remastered or re-released it on the PS4, and it's backwards compatible with 3. So you can play with people playing on the PS3 version and the PS4 version, which is pretty cool. A lot of fun stuff, and if you're on the fence about it, just pick it up and play it. You won't go wrong. It's just not as personally long-lasting as a game as other ones for me. Pretty low today? Potentially. The music or me. The music I can probably potentially bring up, but me being quiet, probably because I'm facing this way and my microphone is over here. Yeah, I'm on my table and my face is facing down and towards the painting as opposed to up and towards the microphone. So, but my mic is turned up as much as it can be. So, anyway, welcome Seebeck. Hello, hello. Doing painting. All right. I think the arms are a little too long, is what it is. Alright. Hello. What's up? Yeah, what's up? You, in the break between crap? On a break in class or on the train or what have you? Hello. Alright, so. Give me a sec here. Not much, just lots of school. I figured as much. Okay, so actually it goes right about here. And thereabouts. Arm is a little too long. We'll fix it. Or you'll just not notice it. Alright. Yeah, I think that might be... Oh. I'll leave it. It's better on Facebook. Alright. Good luck then. Could be that Twitch... I think Twitch has a feature where it automatically turns the volume low for streaming, which I don't quite know why. Twitch is a bit quiet relative to other platforms. Sadly not, I hear. Well, here's a stupid question. Is the volume turned up on your phone or whatnot? I always ask the stupid questions because sometimes that's all it takes. Alright, so this... right there. Well, outline on this one. Fully. Alright, alright. So, I don't know what to tell you. Maybe I could just speak louder or something. But that would probably get tiring. I'm not a very loud person in the first place. Well, try and speak up a bit more for you. Sorry about that. Alright, so... I think that's most of the outlines in the area I can work with. I think that needs a line, but it's the same as the bowl there, so that's not gonna make any difference. And I think I needed the dark line for the dress. Dress does need shading. But let's give it a shot, see what it gets. Yeah, it's no. Maybe your first and last order at Danny's? What's Danny's? That's some foreign thingy that I'm not so sure about. Wait. You're gonna have to explain it a bit more. It's... no, that's... isn't that... no, that's... names are getting mixed up here. Isn't that your boyfriend? That might be your boyfriend, I can't remember. I can't remember his name. No. Oh, Danny. Okay, that Danny. Okay. Oh, yeah. Chu. Danny Chu. Danny is such a very generic name. It's hard to bring it up. But okay, boyfriend's email. Gatekeeping most of this part of stuff, though. Okay, that makes a bit more sense. What'd you get then? He's gone quite gung-ho on a lot of his endeavors. And he's actually incredibly intimidating. Not in person, but just he's a relentless machine with like how much stuff he does. I was originally trying to emulate his work with the doll stuff, but I just could not keep up with how much he did. That's not my that's not how I function. He's just relentless with just how many things he does. It's crazy. Yeah, so what did you get? Anyone in particular? I know he made recently a realistic style face, as opposed to the standard anime style one he had before. Yeah. Chaos Cortex shells, heads, frame, and T. Alright, cool. If you ever get the chance, do show us some pictures of it whenever it comes in. Yeah, it's just... yeah, that stuff is really impressive and really well made. I will always admire that aspect of oh, that's why that's different. But that... give me a sec, this doesn't... that's not the way it should be. You've got a weird clothing thing here. 2 seconds in. Alright, cool, cool, cool. Sweet. I really dislike having to make such fine lines. Okay, here, let me show you guys something. Let's actually focus on for that to work. Give me one moment. Alright. If you look here, potentially, it's a 000, 000, which means the brush is literally that big. And if you can potentially see that little curve right at the end right here, that's what I'm using to make such fine lines. What happens is when I push this down, the rest of the brush ends up pushing on as well. And so I can only use this tiniest of margins to make fine lines. It's quite frustrating, because this is the smallest brush I have. For reference, I got a 0 around here somewhere. There we are. Give me a sec. I always, this is a fun song that plays. Oh, you're back, you're back. Banana for scale? Unfortunately, I do not have any bananas for scale to show you. But give me a second, I'll show you the other other brush. One moment. Okay. And here's one, I guess. Oh, come on. Focus, focus. Why are you behaving so weird? Focus. There's the 0, 0. And this pen here is a 0. So 0 was what artists thought was the smallest they would need to go. And I currently have a 000 that is still too big. And this one here next to it is a size 1 brush. So this is size 1, which is the default painter's brush. I've got like a 1/6 the size of that, and it's still too big. Naked doll warning on Discord. Yeah, well, it's, technically speaking, everybody's always naked. They're just got clothes covering it. Give me a sec. Display case. Ooh, there's a lot of pictures. So, it's pretty cool. You know, that's one of the things I did want with one of the dolls. Is that a Beast coaster? Charlie's Noodle on Discord. No, that's fine. That's fine. That's what those channels are for. Go ahead and showcase what you guys got. Yeah, looking good. I'll take a look at the rest of them later. But yeah. But yeah, no, it's what you do. You. Those servers are mostly for you guys and for me to talk about my stream coming on, things like that. Alright, so there is line here. All the way around. one of the weird differences in painting is the types of black. Okay. I'm gonna fill this in. Because I've got this, I went from a trio to a squad. They're invading. It's like, with stuff like that, I'm always reminded of, well, for one, there's the Star Wars meme. Oh, great. Now there's two of them. They're multiplying. But the other one is stupid Johnny Bravo episode. We want you to eat just one potato chip. Okay. And he just like devours the whole thing. Yes. Facebook is weird in a lot of aspects, though. It's and I'll not bring up any of the current drama in the grand scheme of things with it, but yeah, Facebook is very odd and special for what it does. I still hate, one of the things I do hate most about Facebook is you can't ever find anything. If you go on Facebook and you try and like find that one post that your friend made, there is no way to do it other than sitting there and digging through it trying to find it, which is absurd. You shouldn't need to do that. But it is what it is. It drives my folks nuts when they have to look through some of that stuff. Because I prefer one of the other social media programs, apps, when they have like a chronological option, because that makes it a hell of a lot easier to find something rather than just blind searching through algorithm. Praise the algorithm, or something bizarre like that. It works, but not as much. Lost at home? Well, at least when it's lost at home, I can at least recall the areas it could be. Facebook would be the equivalent of, I lost something, and then having somebody else go and pull up, is this it? 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 And like, no, there it is. Facebook is the equivalent of somebody else just pulling things in front of you. Is this what you want? And you say no. They pull out some other random thing. Is this what you want? No. They pull out some other random thing. Is this what you want? Yeah, I like that. Oh, so you want more of this? Here's more of the same thing, but find something different. You wanted more of the same, didn't you? All these algorithm stuff is weird. It's like, I find a lot of these algorithm social media websites, they work so unbelievably hard at making things as convoluted as possible. Even from like an evil overlord practical site, what do you gain from having something so complicated? It's trying. It's trying. Yeah, there's also like YouTube is another one. I stream to YouTube and whatnot. It's currently where I'm going with some of this as well. But like, if you ever watch a video and then like accidentally misclick it or watch it and it's not really all that interesting again, but then YouTube has like 100 more videos of that one topic. Like the worst example would be if you had any kid videos pop up, like that stupid baby shark thing, and all of a sudden, oh, you're interested in that? Here, let me show you a billion other little kid programs. No, I don't want to watch a billion of those kid programs. I want to watch Baby Shark that one time. And you can't ever take it off. Yeah, apparently, YouTube has current this little like bar on the top or whatever of like things you've clicked on, things you're interested in, but you can't take any of it off. which is an absurd way to go about things, because people misclick, people's interests change, people don't want to follow things after some big old drama, something or other happens. So why is there no option to take it off? I don't know. Yeah, it's just a very unworkable thing. It's just, here, let me show you this junk you don't want. Yeah, it's it's gonna show me out. Yeah, it's shit like that. It's like, and we all know it. We all have experienced it. But it still keeps trying and showing us those things. Yeah, I think the only way to get rid of it is to get rid of all of it and try again, but that defeats the purpose of having a history, so why is it like that? You know, from like a business perspective, Facebook or YouTube and like thumbs down, not suggest the video no more. I have no idea what any of that stuff does. It's like, yeah, YouTube has currently like likes, subscriptions, bell notification, joining groups, as well as some like channel follow, just all these things, and people are like, what does any of this do? Because apparently there's also been occasions where people have been unsubscribed from people they follow for no particular reason, and they aren't aware of something that happens. It's like, the only thing I can see from that is either A, the system is messing up so much it's doing things that shouldn't be possible to do in the first place, like getting somebody off the subscription list, or two, YouTube is trying to force people to watch things they want them to watch, which doesn't work. It's just so weird. Oh, Charlie's face up. Really? Cool. Alright. It's like that was actually, the face ups were actually one thing I was thinking about potentially doing. But I couldn't ever figure out specifics for it, because apparently there's a lot of different kinds of paint, heat treated things that like Danny uses. He uses the special kind of paint or whatnot, but I couldn't ever find information on that. It got really weird. But yeah, those that face up, I'm looking at the pictures now, it's actually pretty good, not bad. Could use a little bit of shading, but I don't know how you would go about it. Of course, maybe I don't think Danny does shading. I think well, he does a couple of different layers, maybe. Now you got me thinking about that. So shaky. And yeah, it's like a shaky hand is not very good when you need precise work. One of the things that help with shaky hands, bracing, like this. Your hand doesn't move as much when it's like this, because if you're sitting here trying to like just a single hand draw on something, your hand will shake and wiggle. But if you have it braced up against it like this, it's a lot more steady, a lot more firm. Yeah, that's what I was thinking I could use, and I could, it looks fine. Probably could have. Now you've got me thinking about all that stuff again. Well, the other things that kept me from going down that route was I am not an expert on makeup, so I don't know quite how it's supposed to look. I'm just a dude after all. So I didn't, it's like I was willing to try it, but I didn't know what direction to take it in. Alright. Yeah, that's actually a good job. Well, the other one was seal the blank face. That might have been it. I didn't know. I didn't have a sealant for it. That was it. That was it. I had some experimentation with some sealant. Prior, I bought some at a gaming store, but I think it was extremely expired, and it didn't work. So that should be lower. Give me a sec. That shoulder should be down a bit more. Okay, that's fine. It looks weird. Okay. Sorry, tangent. And yeah, so just let the brush lead. You try to, but sometimes the brush wants to go in the wrong direction, and that's not very fun. Yes, there's... Oh, that's your thumb. That's what that is. Okay. If you look apparently right here in this picture, or if you can find your own version of it, she's got her thumb hidden in the background right there. Well, it's there. It shows up. It's just shaded. It's like stupid little details like that. Like on a normal artwork, that probably would have been glossed over. Hell, I would have straight up glossed over that. But no, they put the thumb in place. It's like, I love that little shit. Just wipe the face and try again. And yeah, that's what I've learned from picking up the painting here. Is that you can just wipe it and start over. And the fear of failure is kind of pointless when you have the option of redoing things. It's a really simple and stupid concept, but it's one that is apparently hard to grasp sometimes. Alright. Oh, come on. But yeah, it's just oftentimes a lot of people... There is a sentiment that art and paint is like permanent things. How do you do it so well? How do you do it without messing up? Well, it's paint. You just paint over it. Yeah, sort of. On a doll's face, it would be different because there's one stripe of paint as opposed to the whole canvas. Yeah, this song always reminds me of Mass Effect. Even though I know it's not. Alright, there we are. I think that's all the outlines for the, most of it. And then there's always the well, that's a big one. Not necessarily the act of doing something and screwing up, but the act of, is this the one I want to stick with for the rest of my life? And even for like mundane shit like paintings or a face up, even though face up isn't really mundane, but you get it. And that's something that has always been a problem for me. Being afraid to commit to a very significant thing, which Mass Effecting. And Mass Effect has like this one theme where this pops up. I think like ship level select. But yeah, it's got a similar vibe to it. But yeah, I guess this also runs back into I've been afraid of committing to things, choosing something that'll be there forever, and that's something that always is in the back of my mind of, is that what I'm doing now? Which is really hard to question. be like that. And the paint just dries. Yeah. Well, the paint runs out. You know, I've always had this like idea for a paintbrush that has like a little ball of paint, something like to hold it up, and would just dribble down into the brush, so you wouldn't have to basically a paint pen. And see if that would be helpful. But I don't know if the paint would actually work like that. But yeah, this painting stuff has really helped me progress and grow a bit, and not be so afraid to take risks and challenges. Because if I make a mistake, I can fix it. There's always a do-over. Do-overs. Have any of you guys seen the movie City Slickers? That's kind of a family classic. Sort of. And it's a really interesting story. It's about these city slickers, guys in a city who decide for one dude's birthday, all go cattle ranching. No, what is there's a term for it. Basically, they take the cows from point A to point B, and they end up being like cowboys. Alright, it's a very it's very American oriented, I'd imagine. Not that that really means anything, but it's about cowboys, so it's already kind of American. But it's a bunch of these friends, and they get together and go on a blanking on the term. I want to say cattle rustling, but basically they like help herd the cattle from the ranch here to wherever it is they're going, and it's something they can do. And it's a bunch of city slickers, guys who are like used to instant coffee and like coffee machines and such, and they have to experience the rigors of being an actual cowboy with cows and things like that. And it gets very ridiculous with how a lot of things go on, but it also hits pretty close to home with some of this stuff. And one of the characters ends up having a kind of like a big breakdown with his life. He ended up doing, his marriage is failing, it's like business is failing, things are all going down, and he's having a breakdown at the moment. And one of the characters talks to him about it. It is talking to him with it, and he's like, do you remember that time when we were kids and we'd play baseball and like we'd hit the ball into the neighbor's yard or something, and then we'd all shout, do over, do over? It's buddy, your life is a do-over. Cattle Drive, that's Cattle Drive, that's the name. And he talks about, buddy, your life is a do-over. You've got the chance to start it over and do it again. And it's very simple, very powerful scene at that moment. And that's one of the things I take away most from that movie, as of course a couple other stupid little quotes that stick in your head forever. But yeah, it's about having a second chance, having the ability and courage to accept that things didn't quite go as planned, and then moving on and doing it again, because you can. Your life is a do-over. And that's, I guess, kind of linking it back to here, is it's kind of where I feel like I'm at, sort of. Not necessarily a do-over, but a chance to start again, or move on or whatnot. Not a everything sucks and start over, but it's time to move on and start again. if that makes any sort of sense. English has a lot of ways of saying the same thing, but not. But yeah, it's a interesting movie. It's one our family watches, used to watch every so often. And it's got a lot of ridiculous characters. There's one guy named Curly, like this old as dirt cowboy who's been a cowboy his whole life, knows everything about thing. He's tough as nails and shit, and he's the guy these city slickers have to work with. And he's teaching them and showing them and laughing them at their stupidity and whatnot. And he's a good, interesting character. He's very I want to say down to earth, but he's gruffer than that. I'm doing horrible at English today. How do words work? But yeah, that's a neat one. Oh, speaking of movies, so we've got a co-worker at Radio Shack, and they're of the younger generation. And so we keep, me and my other coworkers, and talk about the old movies that we used to watch, and like the classics and whatnot. And they talk about, the younger coworker talks about what's that? That's I haven't seen that one. And we're like, okay, have you seen this? No. Have you seen this? No. You've got to have seen this, right? No. Okay, start making a list. Okay, you've got to watch, and some of the movies. City Slickers 2 again. Oh yeah, that's right. They had a second one. I gotta watch some of that shit again. But yeah, we were talking about movies she needed to watch. Oh, all right. Yeah, message me, give me a link on Discord, and I'll take a look at it. But yeah, apparently she hasn't seen Spaceballs, Galaxy Quest, Bill and Ted's Excellent Adventure. She hadn't seen any of that. What was another one? There was another one we had that we were gonna have her watch. Monty Python and the Holy Grail. She hasn't seen that one. And like, these are all standards and classics, and you've got to know those for, hell, even just the internet jokes. But yeah, it's it really is. Movies are a weird subject right now. They're not doing too hot in the box offices right now. Hell, I even think I heard stories of theaters closing down and like going out of business because of the pandemic currently. Really? Okay. So I guess we all got homework this weekend. Not seen Galaxy Quest. Yeah. That's a good one. Okay, if you haven't seen any Monty Python, you've got to watch Monty Python and the Holy Grail. That's a base one. That's one of their best movies. Another one you got to watch is the Dead Parrot Sketch. Watch that. You can pull that one up on YouTube, and that's one of their better ones. And it's a good example of what they're like. The other one is the Fruit Self-Defense one. But yeah, it's forgivable that people haven't seen things. Hell, I've been asked if I've seen this or that, and I said no. I believe yeah, we were talking with her, and apparently Monty Python is on Netflix, so give it a shot. They might have it there to look at. Lame and lazily written. It was just fuel for the masses. I get the... Actually, you want to know what's kind of fascinating? Recently I've been looking into some YouTube videos, something to listen to while I work on other things. And one of the things I have started listening to is video essays on movies and games and such. People talking about the good and the bad for why a subject is working or not. And so, well, have you heard of this thing called VPN? I'm pretty sure there's free ones out there you can try, but yeah, I know it gets weird like that. It's also just, you can try it if you want. I don't know if it'll work out or not. But there are ways of finding it, if you know where to look. Hint, hint. But yeah, yeah, it's anyway, the point I was making for the video essays, I find I'm having more entertainment value watching people talk about the movies than actually the movie themselves, which is kind of silly. Considered repeatedly by now. Yeah, it's not to say that the American selection is any better. It's still the same kind of crap movies as elsewhere, but you might have more of a selection to choose from, more shit to select from. 1 second. Very thin line. There we are. Okay. Hint, hint. Well, what else am I supposed to say? Yarn? Yo ho ho? But yeah, it's yeah, there are ways of watching movies and doing things. People do find life finds a way of doing things. But yeah, it's that'll be about it for now. I didn't do too much. I got like her shirt mostly. See if maybe you can tell me. Do you know what this would be called? It's like kind of like a corset. Maybe it would just be a corset. Would it be considered a blouse? What is the determining factor for some of those things? Or is blouse like a full chest up to the neck? Yeah, I don't know. This yard. Well, you realize my position. I got no idea. Alright. Just might as well ask, because it's basically just cups here and then a corset looking type thing, but not a corset, just like a dress in that shape, and then it splits over into a skirt. Dress? I don't know. Now I noticed this early on, and it's like now it's stuck in my head and I can't figure out what would you call this outfit. Would it be a dress because it's multiple? I don't know. I'm gonna take off before my mind starts melting trying to figure out what to call a dress. So anyway, see you later, guys. Yeah, watch Monty Python if you can. There's like YouTube stuff and whatnot there, just called a dress. I know, but they get very, yeah, there's like halter top, tank top, t-shirt, all sorts of things for very marginal differences. So, and there's also a lot of differences between clothes. There's a difference between like how guys treat clothes and how girls treat clothes. Guys have shirt, pants, shorts. That about it. I apparently saw a thread at one point. I can't remember when or where specifically, but it was a thread about people talking about, I think it was guys saying, or girls asking guys, what kind of clothes do you like? Would you like me to wear? And the guys said, well, a fair amount of guys said, well, let's undress. And they're like, what kind of sundress? And the guys are like, a sundress? It was like, apparently, I did not know this, but apparently there's lots of different types of sundresses. I didn't know. I just kind of know them as that very loose-fitting strap across and then down with a maybe calf-high flowy skirt. That's my knowledge of a sundress, but apparently I'm wrong in assuming that's all there is. So I guess I applied that logic here. Is this still a dress or is this something else? Anyway, I'm out of here. See you later, guys. Have fun. And watch that movie, and I'll watch yours. So, see you later. Bye-bye.